Hello everyone, it is Tree from Lost Time Toys, and today I am going to be reviewing the 2025 The Loyal Subjects limited edition Indigo doll, and I ordered it off of Amazon.com. I got it for $20, which is a 50% discount off of the original price that originally Amazon and originally The Loyal Subjects, the toy maker, was selling it off of its website. So this is not going to be a TLS bashing session, because I am very, very grateful that they are even making these toys for the 40th anniversary of Rainbow Brite. So very grateful for that. I have 3 points of grievances, I guess, with the company, especially with this latest release of dolls and plushes. One, I think it's quite sad that they don't really communicate through their customer service. So you can send them multiple emails and they just will not respond to you. So bandwidth for customer service is very, very low. Two, I think it's kind of silly and almost embarrassing that they lower the price point of products even before certain customers have even received their orders who paid full price. And three, just yesterday they announced that they had to cancel some items, such as the metallic set of chibis for like $80 that a lot of people purchased because they were eager to get their hands on the Buddy Blue and Canary Yellow chibis, even though they were the metallic version. So those three grievances aside, this video is just to celebrate the fact that we actually have a large size Indigo doll. As you know, there were four 15-inch dolls that were released earlier last year. There was Rainbow Brite, there was Stormy, and there was Tickled Pink, and there was Moonglow. So those were the four that were released last year, 2024, and they announced that they are releasing and have released the Indigo doll. So this is Indigo. So I purchased this again off of Amazon. So there are certain things about this box that I'm not super pleased with, but for Amazon, this is pretty good. It's not a perfect box. There is a crease mark right here, and it looks like they added, I don't know whether this is intentional, but there's some fading around the rainbow. That wasn't in the previous box. I wonder whether this was a stylistic choice or this is just fading from a bad print job. So besides the box, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen, this is how the doll looks. And I think she's pretty decent looking, I'd say. So there are hallmarks of the 1984 version of the 9-inch doll of Indigo that was released by Mattel. Again, all of the licenses related to the image and the character is owned by Hallmark Licensing Company. But this is TLS, the Loyal Subjects, produced this line. This is how the doll looks, and I will do a side-by-side comparison of this doll. I will probably release her from the box just because she's not that expensive, and I would like to. So this is the 1984 version of the doll. So I'm gonna do a close study of this doll, and then we can analyze the differences and the similarities to the 1984 doll. First of all, the face mold of this doll is almost identical to the four dolls that were released last year. It looks like they didn't change the mold. obviously, Indigo is a doll of color. I think she's South Asian, but I asked this question to a Rainbow Brite fan page, and they seem to have different opinions about what ethnicity or race Indigo is. I think some people said, oh, I always thought she was African American or black. Some people said, oh, I thought she was like Native American. Me personally, I always thought that Indigo was South Asian or of a descent that related to the Indian subcontinent, only because of the very distinctive like billowing pants. And I think, and I don't know for sure, isn't Indigo a dye natural resource maybe that came from the Indian subcontinent? Please fact check me. But that's why it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what ethnicity or race Indigo is. I think she's a very adorable character, and any sort of like diversity representation is really, really cool in dolls. So the thing that is different from Indigo to the other dolls, that even though she uses the same mold, is that she has a darker complexion. So her skin is this brown, beautiful brown color. She has dark brown eyes, a light pink lip, and I think I don't know whether there's blush. If she has blush, it's very, very faint. So she has very long black hair, and I think it's cinched in pretty big pigtails, and there are streaks of blue in her hair. And I think, and I don't know, it should be tied with light blue ribbons. So that style and that look is the same as the 1984. So there is a limited edition sticker in this top right hand corner. Let me see whether I can see. Yeah, so if you look at the top of the box, you can see the streaks of light blue, and you can see there are two big light blue ribbons on both pigtails. Let me look at the ribbon here. This looks like a 1/2 inch ribbon, which is different from the ribbon that is in the 1984. So let's look at the 1984. The 1984 Indigo 9-inch doll has ribbon that is, I think it's not as shiny, and it is a 3/8 inch light blue ribbon with some ribbing on both sides. The hair is, the ribbon are tied almost at her temple, just above the ear, and she comes with a plastic film covering to hold down her bangs. So she does have a very thin strip of bangs in front of her forehead, and the big pigtails are cinched, or ponytails, are cinched in the middle. Let me see how she is. So again, the TLS version is not as neatly packed, but I'd say that the ribbons are kind of tied not in the front, but almost towards the back. And there is no middle part ribbon binding that holds the hair back, which is why everything's kind of chaotically all over the place in this box. But let me look at the outfit. So maybe it's better, you'll have a more complete look if I show you the image. So the outfit is very, very similar. There seems to be, she's wearing a bodysuit that is light blue with a white trim at the top and the sleeves. She's wearing a shield star with the indigo star in the very center. She has these like flourishes, her sleeves, which are this like pearlized white and indigo trim, and a indigo belt that kind of cusps her waist. And she has these billowings, almost like, it looks like satin, but it's probably polyester, given the cost of the doll. Shiny, glossy, are they called harem pants? That might be a terrible, they're billowing large pants. Let me move this, because I had to move this because I was like in the shadow, but they're very cute. I think an improvement on the 1984 doll, though, is the fact that the sandals look more well constructed. You can see that they're purple. There's looks like a bow here. The sandals on the 1984 are a hot mess. It looks like just a flat piece of felt, and it looks very, very flimsy. So I want to open this and show you the inside, so let me pause. All right, I am back, and I got her open. So let me just pull her out. Oop, a silicone packet fell. All right. Wow, so the first thing that I noticed when I don't mind opening her from the box because she's relatively inexpensive, $20 to $40, rather than like a $250 1984 doll that's in the box. So the first thing that I notice in this version of Indigo, there's just so much hair. The hair is very, very thin. And let's see, can you comb it out? I'm gonna try to comb her out to make her look a little bit more presentable, because right now my girl is kind of in shambles. All right, you know what? Some people are like very, very particular about how they want their box dolls to lay, and I'm one of those people, honestly. Okay, already this is looking so much better. Guys, why didn't TLS cinch this doll down? Because this is like 1,000 times better. Okay. Let's not get obsessive, Tree. Jesus. Alright. Is that good enough? Is that good enough? I think this is good enough. Alright. So, let me analyze the doll a little bit more. Her bangs are, again, very, very small in width, just like the other one. The other one has the light blue streak in the center of the bang, rather than this is just bisected, like 50% blue, 50% black. The ribbons, again, are much larger. This is like a 1/2 inch light blue ribbon, and it's tied kind of in the mid to back region. There's nothing cinching the middle part of the pigtails. The pants, okay, one of my biggest complaints about 1984 Indigo is these pants are so loose. The elastic is terrible. The pants continually drop, so a lot of collectors that collect loose dolls would sometimes redo the elastic part of the 9-inch 1984 Indigo doll. This pants, these are so secure. Like, they did such a good job. It's like tight as a whistle. And this shield is very, very nice. The material looks decent. She's like very, very plush. And oh my gosh, look at how improved these sandals are. They have like this soft undersole, and the actual sandal is almost like a purple indigo rope material. And you can see they actually did some threading so you can see her toes. This is actually super cute. I am obsessed with this. This looks way better than even the way that it looked on behind the box. Like, her hair is more full. The one thing is, like, if you're looking at this, the streaks are kind of hidden in the back. The light blue streaks are kind of hidden in the back, and this one is just, like, all the way in the back. But I think she looks super cute. Her back plastic here is a light blue with, like, almost white or very, very pale blue stars. But this is actually a huge success for TLS. I think this is... Of the 4 dolls that have been released, this is the cutest one. This 15-inch Indigo doll is the cutest doll that was released by TLS in the last 2 years. I'll say that. I will say that. Don't even get me started on the 5.5-inch fashion dolls. I think they're not that good. This is very, very good. Of course, nothing, in my opinion, will ever compare to the 1984. This is like a 9 out of 10, honestly. A 9 out of 10. I dock like maybe a point for the fact that her sandals are not great and her pants are often saggy and loose. But this is like a solid like 7.5, which is like much better than the other 15-inch dolls and way light years better than the 5.5-inch dolls. So TLS, you did a really good job this time. I will set aside all my other gripes because this is very, very successful. I do not know whether we'll ever get other Rainbow Brite figures in this size. This might be the 5th and the last one. I don't think the Rainbow Brite line has been that largely successful, just based on the fact that TLS has like been decreasing the prices already. But I would love to see a Lala in this size. I would love to see a Buddy Blue in this size. I'm kind of over Patty and I'm kind of over Canary. Like, they've had so many runs on many different generations, but we never see Lala and we never see Buddy Blue, really. So it's awesome. It's awesome that we got Indigo. I'll say that. It's awesome that we got Indigo. I feel like Shy Violets have had her flowers. There was a 1985 18-inch version of Shy Violet along with Patty. So this is super nice that we get Indigo. She's one of my favorite color kids in the Rainbow Brite franchise. And let's just do a side by side. Do we like how these look together? I think this is very, 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 very successful. I might buy another box just because I opened this one, and I'll display it at the very top of my collection. But all right, what do you guys think of Indigo? Would you buy this doll? I mean, you should definitely buy it now because it's $20 on Amazon, and fingers crossed that it even goes a little bit lower. But TLS, you did a really good job.